Here's a wonderful healing move for any kind of low back or hip pain, tension. This could be something that happened recently or has been going on for a long time, months, years, decades. Highly recommended and inspired by Feldenkrais movement through awareness. It's called the pelvic clock. So start in a position where you're laying down, could be the floor, could be a mattress, whatever is comfy. And you want to have your knees bent, feet flat. The feet are about hip width, maybe even shoulder width apart. And you're going to begin with your hands on your hips or your belly. And we're just going to start to tilt our tailbone back and down and arch your low back so you could fit a hand under there. And then you're going to point your tailbone up so that you flatten your low back to the ground. So try that a few times. You're pointing your tailbone back, arching your low back, and then you're flattening your lower back, curling your tailbone toward the ceiling. Try that a few times. Your seat stays on the floor the entire time, and you can begin to use your breath to help direct the movement. So inhale, point the tailbone down. Imagine you're pushing to 12 on an imaginary clock behind your hips. And then exhale, as your waistband comes down, press into 6 in that imaginary clock. Just try 1 or 2 more like that. Inhale, tailbone down, presses into 12 at the top of the clock. Exhale, round or flatten your low back, waistband pushes into imaginary 6. One more time, just moving through this very natural range of motion, the first movement noticed in gestation. This is called the yes breath, just this arching and flattening. So then pause there. We went 1, 2 directions. So 2 directions, back and forth. Now we're going to go side to side. So this time, try to press one hip down and back to the ground, and while the other hip lifts up toward the ceiling, and then reverse that. So good, left hip down, right hip up, and then reverse it. Left hip up, right hip down. And working with your breath and your imagination. So as you inhale, press the right side of your SI joint, low back into the ground, imaginary 3 o'clock. And then left side presses into imaginary 9 o'clock. Try that just a couple more times, moving with your breath. Avoid having a lot of side-to-side movement in your knees, but it is okay if your knees kind of go in a forward position and a backward position rather than a left and right side-to-side position. One more like that, feel that deep range of motion, particularly in your SI or sacroiliac joint. Pause there in between 3 and 9, 12 and 6, and let's take it all the way around the clock. So start with the arched tailbone, 12 o'clock, tailbone down. Move toward 1 o'clock on the right, 2, 3 o'clock, the right SI. Then 4, 5 o'clock, you're moving up the clock to 6 o'clock. And then press to the left side, 7, 8, 9 o'clock. Move back down toward 10, 11, all the way back to tailbone, and then smooth it out. Try to press into each of those imaginary numbers with equanimity, and you're trying to create fluidity around this area. You'll feel some numbers are a little tight, or some numbers are totally dull, numb, and checked out. The areas that are achy, or the areas that are harder to connect with, pause over those areas and just swivel a little ahead and behind them, and do that maybe 3, 4 times, and then keep moving around the clock, and then find another numb or achy area, swivel a little back and forth. After you've gone clockwise a few times, take it for a spin the other way, counterclockwise. So 12 over to the left side, 9, low back, 6, back to the right SI, 3. And again, you're looking to create fluidity. You're looking to round the corners. If you feel a straight line or any kind of hard angles, see if you can smooth them out with your movement, using your lower core muscles here. This is fabulous, not just for low back pain, but things like disc injuries, bulging disc, herniated disc, sciatica, SI joint dysfunction, even digestive challenges or even reproductive issues. This helps to open up not just the entire front, side, and back of your core, but also helps to encourage peristalsis, digestion, elimination in and around your organs. Highly recommend this on the daily, whether you are healing from low back pain or you want to prevent having low back pain. Try pelvic clock on the regular.
Mhm.